up, you all? I'm your girl, rapper, singer, Blondie Pink, comedian, actress, civil rights leader, Michelle Hope Walker, celebrating my birthday. The month of August 2025, but my actual birthday, August 26th, is coming near. Today is Sunday, August 24th, 2025. Each year I do a take on my birthday of highlighting certain points in my life, or just talking about my life and celebrating, because your birthday is celebrating. To me, is celebrating your life. And so, this video is more about my family. I love my family is a big part of my life. And if you're like me, the more mature you get, the more you're like, oh, I love my family. The more you see, other people losing family members. And you have to remember, these days, people are losing people no matter what age they are, younger, older, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to love on people, and that's what I believe in doing, is just loving on people, striving to stay in contact with people, your family and stuff, and loving on family. I could say through, the thing that has been challenging, because, for me, but I deal with it because I love my family and I'm a Christian, and the devil is a lie. We have to remember, when we look at, Jesus, God, Holy Spirit, that's the God I'm talking about, that in the Bible, it talks about, the devil is constantly, and that's a demonic spirit, and it's talked about in the Bible, so read the Holy Bible. And you learn more about that we have a spirit, a demonic evil spirit that constantly tries to destroy our life, constantly tries to destroy positive relationships in our life. And and in the Bible, you hear where family members were against family members, just different crazy stuff, So this stuff can get real with family, but for me, I just still decide that I'm gonna love family. Now, sometime, at this point in my life, sometime you have family members that may be jealous of you, which is always disheartening, because you're like, I love you. I'm the same person I was growing up. In the sense of loving people, and matter of fact, probably even show love more, because as a kid, you gotta learn. Don't nobody teach you. I really wasn't taught on this is how you do, but I learned, my own, through community. You love on family. You love family unconditionally, you're there for family as much as you can be, as a mother, I'm there for my kids. They know, hey, I'm that ride and live mom. Yes, I ride for my kids. You know what I'm saying? I ride for my family. I ride for my mom. I ride for my grandpa. I ride for my brother. I ride for my sister. I ride for all my family. I ride for them. You know what I'm saying? Meaning I'm there in whatever way that I can do. So for me at this stage, it gets really challenging when you get family members that are jealous of you, and try to act like because you're happy and enjoying your life, you're different, and you're not. And I do hear other people talk about this, that with the fame, with money, or just with anything, and you don't even have to have fame or money. It just, everybody experiences this, You have different family members. You're like, what happened? Because I know I didn't do anything wrong to this person. But love them and show them love, no matter how much love you show them, they just, then that's too where to keep yourself healthy. You just have to love some people from a distance. You see them, you love them, you may check on them in there, but because, no matter how kind you are to them, they try to emotionally, destroy you. I'm comedian Michelle Hope Walker. I just keep it real. These days, I'm not ashamed or afraid to talk about dynamics in my family. I'm just, no matter of fact, I feel like it's healthy. I try not to go deep and name ones, you know what I'm saying? Just try to keep it generic. But, and plus I was the people to know, when you want to know about me, you come talk to me. Do not talk to my family. You come talk to me. Now, if they're saying something positive, that's good. But if they're not, you come talk. If anybody in my family says something negative about me, you come, Now, again, I'm private, so I ain't one to just tell my business all the time to everybody. I know as I get on these videos, you're like, oh my gosh, But, also I feel like it's to help people in the name of Jesus. But as Christians, we have to stay praying. That's what we stay praying for our family. I stay praying that whatever their individual dreams and goals are, that they will accomplish them, that they won't be afraid to step out and accomplish their goals, so they won't be jealous of me and always bullying me and mistreating me because I'm going after my goals and dreams. Well, actually, I feel like I accomplished a lot of my dreams early on in life. That's a celebration of my life too, as I celebrate my birthday. And so it's always establishing new goals and dreams. Because just early on, I always said, I'm going to be the one in the rocking chair talking about I wish it could have, should have. Nope, not me. I'm going to go after. I'm going to do what I need to do. And you have to understand, sometimes family members, they don't get that. Family members that have never lived in cities and moved or different, they don't always get the go. They don't always get the go-getter. They get the go-getter in the points of their life and constraint, and what they're doing, but they don't always, but my thing has always been like, it's not about if you get it or not. It's about just love. All I need you to do is just be there for me and just love on me. That's it. But sometimes some of them just have a challenge. And then you got to watch emotional abuse, because I don't know, it just seems like the happier you get, some family members just get more abusive to you. Like, what is going on with this person? But it's not you. That's that family member. And then when you mention jealousy to them, then they really give me, but you got to remember, people think, people only get jealous of people who got like a lot of money or look a certain way, which I'm beautiful. I'm good. I got my home. I've been in for years and I'm good. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, it's not that. Sometimes people can be jealous of relationships you have with other family members. Sometimes people can be just jealous that you're happy. Sometimes I just feel like it's just, because it's like if you're not happy or something happens to you, it's almost like they rejoice in that. Some family members do. Like, ooh, that's what she get. Guess what I get? I ain't done nothing wrong. It's like God, especially when you're a Christian, God will have you read different family members mail, meaning just, will let you aware of certain family members that you have to be aware of because they are not for you. You don't get it, because these are your close family members, your immediate family. You're like, what is going? But I've learned to quit trying to figure it out. You just got to protect yourself. You just got to protect yourself. You just got to be like, okay, this one you can talk to, this one you can only talk to a short time, because then they're going to go in a, emotional abusive area to you. So, you just have to pray for them. But I still believe in loving family. So as I celebrate my birthday, I love my family, because growing up, I have to say, my family is where I didn't get into drugs. I didn't get into none of that stuff because I had a rooted foundation of family, especially my grandparents, and my mom and my aunts and I was the oldest grandchild. So therefore, it started out just me, and then all the other grandkids came. And that's where you hear me too, just hoopla over, my grandparents, because they raised me a lot, I lost my grandma, and that was during COVID, so that was very challenging because I didn't get a chance to be there. I won't say be there because I was there. I was there before COVID. I was constantly going. As soon as my grandma, even before then, I was going back. I've been out here in LA for years. But I was constantly going back to my home area. And then especially when my grandma went in the hospital, I most definitely started going back a lot. But it was all new. And the last thing I thought was that my grandma would be passing in no time soon. Because I just, people sick and we have to, rearrange things, but they're not going to pass in my head. They're not going to pass away, So that one took me for a real biggie when my grandma passed away. And then it happened in the midst of COVID, and I got asthma and stuff, so I couldn't really travel to go. It's just, but thank God for shouts out to funeral homes during COVID, and even now for people that, may can't travel, whatever, able to watch funerals over, online and different things like that. But I've always spent time with my grandma. I was right there for my grandma. So, I always tell people, you feel content at the funeral, I know some people are so focused on making it to the funeral, but my thing is spending the time with them alive, as much time as I can alive. And I was always talking to my grandma, on phone every day and stuff. But so that now we're at my grandpa, and that's why I say, I Be Sure, oh my God, I Be Sure really blessed me when he showed that picture of, I'm guessing it's I Be Sure, and that's the singer, R&B singer, I Be Sure. I guess it's his grandma maybe that had just passed away at 105. It blessed me in the sense that, because I'm always right there with my grandpa trying to do all the things that we can do to help keep him alive as long as we possibly can. And he's happy. My grandpa is happy. He's, he wants life. He's not one sitting there, I'm ready to go. Nope. He wants life. He's loving life, So my thing is, we got to try to keep him as healthy as possible. My grandpa's only 93, and this lady lived 105. But like I told you, a lot of people are living into their hundreds. So that gave me hope. My grandpa gonna be around a long time, you know what I'm saying? And that's my thing of just constantly spending time and talking to him every day, spending time with him, doing as much as I can on helping with managing care for my grandpa, even from here in LA, because we got phones, we got internet, it's a lot that we can do, So always remember that with your family members too. There's a lot you can do. Some people think, oh, I'm not right there in town. Again, I go in town as often as I can, for the healing of my grandpa and to see my mama, just all my family, my kids, everybody, because I believe in that. I believe in time, and so that's where you also have to rearrange your schedule, sometimes you can get good deals on plane tickets. Shouts out to Spirit Airlines. I love me some Spirit. I don't care what y'all say about Spirit. I love me some Spirit. Number one fan of Spirit. But it's nothing like hugging your family member, hugging your kids, hugging your mama, hugging your grandpa, hugging your cousins and your brothers and your sisters. It's nothing like hugging folks, and touching folks and actually being right there in the midst and spending time. But you do have to rearrange that. You have to redo a budget. You have to, sometimes it's not cable because this is travel money to be able to, and you got to pay your bills. I always make sure keep the roof over my head now because I live in LA. So I got to make sure, but, it's just certain things for me, at times I'll go without because I want to make sure I get back in town, with family and things like that. And then shout out to my family, that helps in the name of Jesus. So when you hear me talk about, I'm not talking about every family member. And again, some family members go in and out. One minute they're looking at you crazy, the next minute they're willing to help out. And I think that's everybody's family. I'm just talking about my birthday, and a part of my birthday in my life is I'm pointing out things in my life and celebrating my birthday. Most definitely my family is a foundation for me. It is a foundation. You got members that are foundations, and then you got members that you are like, why do you keep bullying me and emotionally abusing me? But you still love them. You love them because the devil is a lie. Like I said, I'm a Christian. I love God. And in the Bible, we know the Bible talks about the devil wants to divide family members. He wants to try to separate mother and daughter, mother and son. He wants to try to separate, he just wants to try to separate and bring division. And so that's why you have to stay prayed up when it comes to your family. Now, again, no, your family has the right to abuse you emotionally or physically or, or other things, And when I say emotion, that's when, family members maybe try to bully you and always try to say negative things. You're doing all these great things, but they don't want to cheer that on. But as soon as something go wrong, they want to tell the world, well, Why didn't you tell them when you just seen me on my BET show? They like my BET. I know I do have family members that cheer me on when they see me on TV, America's Got Talent, different shows like that. They be like, yes, my niece, yes, my mom, yes, my, and that means a lot. And it's not just about me being on TV. It's because I cheer them on whatever it is they're doing. It's cheering your family on in whatever. You don't have to like it or you don't even have to care about that subject. But the point is they care about it. Your loved one cares about it. So that's what makes you cheer them on because you love your loved one. So I know, some of my family members could care less than I'm going to say. But it's not about if they care. It's about you love me. Hopefully, you love me. And so you at least, that's good to see that you're doing what you like to do in your life. Or at least don't put it down. That's my thing. At least don't say negative words about me. You know what I'm saying? But then, like I said, you have to go beyond that, and you just have to pray for them and love them. Because as a Christian, I already know that demonic spirit that tries to divide family and different things. And as soon as you get talking about, I love my family, the devil will have them family members kick off and start doing some crazy. Man, you be like, what is going on? Oh my gosh, you'd be like, is this real? But you have to pray. Now, don't get me wrong, God still will. In his toolbox, because you got to watch this one. Then you sometimes got to pull one aside to conversation. Then some of them, you can't pull them by themselves. You got to have other family members present. Or maybe not even a family member, somebody who is on your side, who supports you. And unfortunately, sometimes that may not always be the family members that are around you at that point. And so you got to find somebody that's on your side. Sometimes just don't say that. Because sometimes some people, they know they did you wrong. They know they wrong. They know it. Sometimes that's why they're running from you, because they know they done you wrong. And then when you tell them something, they go off like, and the worst thing is always when you get on the, okay, can you not talk negative about, can you somehow, I ain't talking to me. Okay, all right, I'm gonna go there. Because you know they are, and they know they are. But you don't have time to go back and forth, but so you just like, all right, you just learn to love people and keep it going. But again, like I said, for your health, and like I said, I don't mind talking about family dynamics. So I don't just the more, because I feel like it's healing. I feel like it helps other people. And do I care if my family get members? No, I don't care, because you're the one mistreating me. If you were not mistreating me, I would not have to talk. I wouldn't be talking about it. And I'm a loving, great person, So in the healing too, sometimes you have to, just watch it. You reaching out for family, they ain't really reaching out for you. You just, you still got the love in your heart, but you need to be also giving your time and your effort to those family members who are pouring into you. Those who are. Now, as God says, we're going to love everybody, but we only got so much time in a day. You know what I'm saying? You calling folks, they never want to pick up the phone. You texting them, I love you. They never text back. I've been meeting Michelle Walker, but stuff get real with family. Y'all know it get real. But my thing is, don't you sit there and be sad. I'm like, I did just cry. Just be like, what is wrong? And then God be jealousy. Some people, they just jealous, and some of them just me. Because they can't stand to hear when you talk about you. But I'm like, well, what other reason? Because I have not done nothing wrong to you. And then I'm your family member, so you're not supposed to be sitting along the side judging me and criticizing me all the time. You're supposed to be cheering me on. At least don't be negative about me. So, it's like the more you doing the things you like to do and happy, it's so ironic that then you have more challenges with family members. It's just weird, because you would think that since you're happy, your family members would be happy that you're happy. Sometimes when you're not feeling well, you can't really tell them, because they'll blow it up and make it seem like you're about to die. You can't trust folks. You're just like, oh. And I know I may be going even more over the top, in the midst of, this video comedy. But no, it's real though. It's really real, really real. So also family, for me, as I celebrate my birthday and I celebrate life. But like I said, I talk about them because I love my family. My family's a big part of my life. And I've been willing to do this tackle for like football sometimes with my family. Oh, Lord Jesus, just love on them and keep going. Because like I said, the Bible say love. 1 Corinthians 13, you keep loving and you keep forgiving people. But again, you do have to watch parameters. You got to keep some time parameters around yourself. You cannot let family members abuse you. When they're doing certain things, you do speak up. But certain ones, when they know they're doing you wrong and then you speak, well, some of them, they want you to say something. They keep doing stuff because they want to argue with you. So then they can act like you the one that to be a mess, to be a mess, to be a mess. I'm not talking about all of them. So don't be looking at all my family. Oh, you the one. But you will be surprised sometimes. The same one, I love it. Do you love it? Are you treating your niece right? Anyway, let the church say amen. But anyway, and so, yeah, do I? No, at this point, I don't, because they do you so wrong. They dog you out so bad. I'm like, I do not care. Well, you talking about me in the video? What do you think? I'm like Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? Well, it's not about what they do for me, but just showing me love. Because and don't get me wrong. Here's the thing, and shouts out to my family. They will shower you with money at times. They will, help you in the sense of the travel costs and different things like that, and thank you, and shouts out to them, but then sometimes can be just the meanest and the emotional abuse. Sometimes people like, boy, if I didn't have to get here, I would tell you to keep your money. Family members give you money, but they're just as mean as I don't know what. You just sort of be like, if I had money, I wouldn't take this money from you. I'm comedian Michelle Hope Walker, but it gets real, y'all. Celebrate my birthday, but I love my family. I do. Like I say, growing up, my family, that was my foundation. I didn't use drugs. I didn't get caught up in a lot of stuff because my family was right there for me. You know what I'm saying? my aunt would take me to go shopping and do all kind of different things. My mama, was right there. My grandparents, I'm the oldest, like I said, I'm the oldest grandchild, and I'm the oldest, my mom, kids, and stuff. And so, just basically by my mom and my brother, and so it's like, we had fun. I can say, I had fun growing up. I didn't have a bad childhood. I can't say that I had a bad childhood. I was able to be a kid, especially now as, you hear people talk about they weren't able to be a kid. No, pretty much when I think back about it, I feel like I sort of lived in a middle class, income class type family between, my grandparents owning their home and as being there a lot, going to a small town there and coming from a mixed family, and then pretty much my grandma and them lived pretty much majority white area, so I grew up around white people, and then Decatur majority white people, Taylor majority, and then I encountered more of black people and black there, and learned that done it, which at times that could have been challenging because for some, that's what sometimes when I hear some black people talk about, how black people, when you're raised around a different type of culture, and then you encounter your own people, and then your own black people say you're not black enough, and then the other races say you're not their race enough. You're like, I'm gonna be me. But anyway, but yeah, I had a great childhood. Like I had kids early where I did experience the SAs and Rs, and I experienced that at a young age. I can't really say I contribute that to my family. I mean, maybe mom could have did a little bit more tighter, but I feel like she tried to do us tight. That just been hanging around wrong folks. But I guess sometimes as I got a teen and different things, it did get to a point of, my mom was doing the best, of course, that she can, but still, could have been a little bit more love shown. Sometimes I think sometimes parents just think, well, I love you, but you're like, but I need you to show me you love me. I need you to be right there for me. So make sure as your kids become teens that you're showing them love. You got to show them love, and you got to say no. No, you ain't going there. No, you're not going around this person. No. But as my mom says that she didn't know certain things were going on. She didn't know this, and I get it, because I'm a parent of 4 and I love my kids, so let's talk about family. My kids are a big part of my life because I took what went good as for me as a child, what didn't go good, and I used all that information in raising my kids to try to raise my kids in the best way possible. Like I said, riding for my kids. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Being right there at schools, being right there with them 24/7. I was a young parent, young parent. My first child at 13, young parent. Now that's where my family helped to raise me and my daughter, in the sense of my mom, shouts out to her, and then as I became grown adult, 18, it was 18, 19, I moved out on my own, I, learned more even in the parenting. I think I had another child before I left my mom's house and different things. And a lot of that, and that's why I pour into girls too, because I know the dynamics that, you got to have family members that are constantly showing you love. And when girls get older, you can't start critiquing them and judging them and getting standoffish with them when they become teens. No, you got to hold on to them and love them even more. That's why I like to see when daddies do the date night with their daughters. I love that. Because my father was abusive to my mom early on, I was separated from my dad, which of course understandable, because he was mistreating my mom and abusive to my mom. Now my mom did have boyfriends, and then my daddy Leon, who has passed, was a big part of my life, which that is my dad's brother who just passed away, and my uncle Don, that you all heard me talk a lot about. They came to my life around age 3-4 years old, and my that part of my family, most of my grandma Ragsdale, my Aunt Julie and Aunt Piggy, who watched me when I was little, like I said, my Uncle Don, my Uncle Wendell, my so so my my childhood was good. I was able to be a child, you know. I would just encourage people as your daughters get older, you got to stay pouring love, because the more that girl feels loved at home, the more she's not gonna. And then when you got, you know, some people I think kids know more than what they do, you know, because I know even sometimes they're like, Mom, well, you didn't teach me. So if you don't teach me, I don't know. I don't know where these parents think that, you know, somehow kids age 12 and 13, 11 just start knowing. No, or any age. No, if you haven't taught them parent, they don't know. Well, I thought they knew. How they gonna know? You they parent. If you ain't taught them, they don't. That's why I try to teach my kids everything. Age 6. Look, we don't even know what you're talking about. I just tried to tell them everything because I didn't want my kids to lack no knowledge about life and different things, you know. I always told them, somebody act different around you, somebody tried to tell you, let me know. I wasn't playing. You know what I'm saying? I spent lots of time with my kids, all kinds of activities with my kids, all the way. I mean, riding for my kids, still ride for my kids. They grown, still ride for my kids. You know, that you ride for your kids all your life. So as I celebrate my birthday, I'm like, I got to celebrate my family, because they're part of my life. And you just pray for me and my family. You know, I'm right there loving everybody. You know, now if you come at me and and that's what happens sometimes, I be like, it's a setup. They on purpose come at you so they can hear, so then they can talk about, well, you said, yeah, you know. But you do have to speak, like Joyce Meyer's preachers, many preachers talk about, you do. Because that's healthy to speak up for. So for all of you in the world, it's healthy to speak up when somebody keep mistreating you and your family and different, you know, because sometimes you try, you know, people, I want to keep the peace. Peace? You ain't got no peace. You ain't got, they sitting there dogging you, mistreating you, lying on you, the other family members and mistreat. No, you say something. Open your mouth in the Bible in Proverbs 31. Open that mouth. But no, I'm learning sometimes I don't say that. Because a lot of times they know what they're doing and they're picking because you're happy and they don't want you to be happy. So where they can try to make you unhappy. Because everybody knows you know, everybody would love for their family to love them and accept them for who they are and cheer them on, right? I mean, that's a nice thing, right? But you got to know that's not always going to happen out of every family member. You just got to get used to it. And you're loving them. You know who's going to be more critical. You know who's going to actually be there. Some of them go back and forth. One minute they nice and then the next minute they critical. They're ignoring you like you don't exist. And with me doing comedy, I've just learned to laugh it off. And you keep going. It's life. It's like they know who they are. You know. And the same ones that get on here talking about and doing all I can. You be like, what? You've done all you can to be as mean as you could to your niece. But anyway, and so I love all my family members. And so yeah, since I closed this video out, I love my family. My family's a big part of my kids. You know, I can remember having each one of my kids. And I don't care what age I had my kids or what situation. I've been married. Yeah, I've been married. You know, I actually thought marriage was a solution to have kids. Nope. You got to make sure the marriage is right. Just have your kids and y'all share raising the kids. Don't be getting married and you got to get learn that one early on. Because I did a lot of stuff very young. You know, raised in the church and stuff. You know, you're trying not to have sex. You know, I still practice celibacy, not having sex, you know, until you're married. And I'm not ready to get married. And well, God, all right, there's somebody, you know, I ain't give y'all that. That's them tea I ain't here to talk about. But anyway, I practice celibacy. And all of my life, I've always tried to practice celibacy, which means not having sex, you know. And again, when we talk about that demonic spirit, of course, you know, but it'd be a subtle thing a lot of times, because it's not like somebody was out in the streets trying to have sex. No. You get caught in a situation, you're like, okay, don't go over nobody's house for the day. Nope. Don't go in a private area. You take a bus. Don't ride in the car with him. That's why I love my buses. My buses be safety. I don't care what y'all talk about. Even out here in Hollywood, going these different things, you know, and again, I got a car. So if I didn't drive, a lot of times I do, but there'll be lots of people to be like, oh, I'll take you home. Nope, I'm good, because I've experienced that. They're supposed to be taking you home and you end up in some bushes somewhere and you like, this is not my house. And then also you don't always want everybody knowing where you live. I don't want you to know where I live. I want my privacy. So, shouts out to my family. I love you, family. I love my kids. I love my mom, my grandpa, my brothers, my sisters, my cousins, my aunts, my uncle, everybody, y'all cousins, everybody. I think I named you. I love everybody. I miss you. I love you. I love my family. My family's a big part of my life. So I celebrate my birthday. I celebrate my love for my family, who is a big part of my life. As I celebrate my birthday, I'm talking about, things in my life. My family have always kept me going. Especially when I was younger, always let me know I could do anything. Always calling me smart, cheering me on. That's why sometimes it can be so challenging when you come from a family that always cheered you on. But then when you're happy and doing things you like to do, then you get some of them that start then always just want to nitpick with you and be jealous of you. Like, what happened to the cheering y'all used to do? All right, y'all, I'm your girl, rapper, singer, Blondie Pink, comedian, actress, civil rights leader, Michelle Hope Walker. This is August 24th, 2025, celebrating my birthday.